Hey guys, not sure this is going to work or not, but I thought we'd give it a go. Anyone that follows these videos will remember I showed the Morley volume boost pedal that I managed to get from the States a few weeks ago, and just a quick video on a quick look at that and repairing it. And I thought I might as well do a video on the gear I use. Might be of interest to somebody, maybe not, but it can't hurt to show what I've got and how I've connected it up. Big Shadows fan here, have been since since the 70s. First record I ever bought was the Shadows 20 Golden Greats. Just managed to find an old vinyl copy of that recently, actually, strangely enough. So pretty much all of the gear I've got is all to do with the echo sound that the Shadows or Hank Marvin has had over the years. The amp you're looking at there is a Fender Cybertwin. It first came out, was it 1999 or 2000? Maybe 2001 actually, trying to think about it. I had one of these from one of the guitar shows, back when they were released, and it was a really expensive amp. I'm talking about £1,200 at the time. I also had quite a range of guitars, but unfortunately all of it had to go about 10 years ago, 10 years ago, when things were a bit tough. I'm sure we've all been there and done that. But managed to get one. I think I've had this about a year now. It's a bit banged up. This was used by a professional musician, and when I bought this, he had just finished the Osmonds tour of was it a year ago, 2 years ago? I can't remember now. It's probably 2 years ago actually I bought this. But the last Osmonds tour, he was the guitarist, or one of the two guitarists on there. And if you go online on YouTube and look at some of their videos from that last concert, you'll be able to see him on stage with this in the background. It was pretty banged up actually. When I got it, it wasn't the condition that I really wanted it to be in. The knobs here have been walloped a little bit. They don't turn very smoothly, and in fact just recently, the last few days, I've realised that the headphone socket at the back of the amp doesn't actually mute the onboard GT12 speakers, which it should do. When I last gigged with one of these, we used the XLR line out to a desk, and obviously through a PA, and just by plugging in a headphone socket, you can mute the onboard speakers. So that's pretty annoying, because I've got a MRS 1044 over there, which I use to record on. And I often don't want the speakers, the sound coming out of the speakers, so it's a bit annoying. This was really a groundbreaking amp when it came out. I don't think it ever really took off in any country, perhaps more in America than it did over here. For what I play, it was absolutely perfect, but I don't think it ever really took off in the way that it deserved. One of the very, very unusual features of this is it's pretty much designed to behave like a whole range of Fender amps and others, and it's internally rewired when you change amps. And if you turn the gain up on the original amplifier, the gain being turned up on this one is designed to do exactly what the gain on the original amp would do. So it's quite a lot different to your normal sort of modelling amps. But one of the coolest features is if you watch those dials, I'll just change patches. You can see all of the dials changing to whatever position, whatever position the preset wants them to be in. The only ones that don't move are the trim, which is on the input side of things, and the master volume. Of course, this amp is fully programmable. You can also control it via MIDI, and currently I've only got a Fender 4 switch unit for it, which I've only just got recently. I'll pan up in a minute and I'll show you what that came with. But originally it comes with the 4 switch unit, which is it's just tucked in there. The one I've just got is a bit banged up, but it comes with that originally, and it also comes with a single switch, and you can use that to switch in and out certain effects, things like that. So yeah, highly underrated, but it is a 130 watts stereo system. There on the back you have a mono effects send and left and right effects return, and you've got MIDI in and out, headphones, XLR line out, and there's SP diff out, and various things like that, and obviously the headphones. On the front you've pretty much got the guitar jack and the dials and the display. The only thing really that lets this down is the built-in tuner. It sucks. Just the weirdest thing that they went to such trouble in designing this, and only to fit a grotty tuner in it. It's never worked properly. You could get by with it, but live or gigging or whatever, then I use the Boss TU3 until I got rid of that. And really last 10 years I've just been using my main Rahbek guitar through a line 6 I'm trying to think what it's called, guitar port, line 6 guitar port. It's just a little thing, a little red box that your guitar plugs into, and that plugs into your laptop, and there's various effects and things on that. But I've just started playing a little bit more, and I just wanted to get a Cybertwin back. Managed to get it pretty reasonably priced. Can't remember off the top of my head what I paid for it a few years ago, but it's probably only 300, 350, something like that, and for a 1200 quid amp, thought that was quite a good deal. So that's the main amp that we use. As I say, that goes, if I want, into the MRS 1044. Now, just recently I have managed to get a second-hand faulty Cybertwin on eBay with that foot switch and the cabinet. No speakers. It did have the circuitry, but it has a fault. And what I've done is I have taken out the ply that is usually fitted here, and where the speakers, the two speakers would be held. I've cut that out. I've removed the metal faceplate with all the controls that you can see on the other one, and then I have just put some marine ply, covered the whole thing, and I've fitted 2 rack units. The first one is the Behringer rack tuner. I mentioned excuse me, go in front of this. I bought this Polytune 2, I think last week, based on all the fantastic reviews, and you see on the front of this it says, voted best for this, best for that. When I plugged it in, it's just dire. That in fact is going back for a refund to Amazon. But I thought I wanted something different to the Boss TU3, and I thought this would do it, but it definitely didn't do it for me. And I'll probably quickly review that before this goes back, because it's just dreadful. Anyway, so I wanted a rack style tuner, and you'll notice this one has 4 lights. There's 4 LED lights underneath it, and it actually sticks out, you know, quite a bit further than your normal rack equipment. And for my purpose, it seemed quite a sensible thing to have, and it works. It's got a number of different modes. It's got a metronome if you want to use that sort of thing. There's a reference tone that you can switch on and off. Again, of no use to me, but it's there if you wanted to play along with a metronome in the background. You can transpose the keys. Reference tone is 440. You can adjust that. It's got a fine mode where it's very, very sensitive, almost too sensitive. It's quite hard to get it, you know, in tune. The normal mode is pretty good. I've just switched out of that there. So you know, I've had that. Well, I've just finished this today. This was a project that I had planned, and was just very, very lucky to get this Cybertwin cabinet for 75 quid. Excuse me. I've got a very good working transformer from this chassis. The chassis itself is separated into a number of different boards, and for certain one of the boards is faulty, and possibly 2. But the headphone board that I think is playing up in my own Cybertwin seems to be okay on the scrap one, so I may at some point swap those boards over and see if we can get this headphone muting function to work, so it turns off the main speakers when you're recording. But I'm in no rush to do that. I just really had the idea of using this cabinet for these racks. So anyway, I fitted some ply to the whole. You know, the whole thing is one piece of ply. I've used a air nailer just to pin all the way around it to hold that in place. There's then black silicone on the inside all the way around the ply. You'll notice that the front panel is now shorter. What I've done is just cut that down at the bottom.